my god, Serac. Oh, frick! No, come back for that. YouTube, what is up? What a time we are living in. The agency suppressor is working, and we've got a huge pool of new ground loot weapons to check out and dissect. Today we've got a good one, the initial tier list for season 2 Cold War. I spent the past few days researching, played a few battle royales, got a sense of a few of the guns, and had a tier list ready, but said no, we got to get the most accurate initial ranking out to the people. And so I spent much of today grinding it out in Plunder and actually play testing as many of these guns as possible. Now that is a caveat, it is Plunder, but in a way the greater number of 2-played enemies is representative of the situation when we drop in BR. Now I do have to face off against fully loaded out players, so when I kill, often it's third partying or in a stealth manner, which in a lot of ways is how you approach those first few minutes of a BR match. But it also shows the cream of the crop, the guns that can take on loaded out guns. And so we're gonna get into it today. The response on here and Reddit to the attachments video has been amazing. I truly appreciate every word of encouragement and gratitude, and that keeps me going and working on these videos for you guys. We're well on our way to our goals for that video, and for this video, I know you guys will crush it as well. If you aren't subscribed, please do, and expect more great content to come for this season. Let's get that 100. Now let's get to the rankings. So there are 6 tiers, and the guns are ordered best to worst from left to right. This season I changed A tier to FFAR, or this. The FFAR, until it's nerfed, is the standard by which all TTK is measured. So if you know, you know. Alright, so first is the Avalanche Diamati. We've had it since last season. It's definitely still solid, the single Diamati. So right now I'd put it in B tier. The Aztec Assassin and AUG. Now the AUG is the hotness right now, especially with the agency suppressor boosting that velocity, and everyone's in Plunder. I just kept getting killed by the AUG every 2 seconds. Now the thing with this AUG is, if you saw my video, my attachment video, for some reason the recoil is really bad on this version. The attachments don't seem like it should be any worse than a standard AUG, but for some reason it's got a lot of kick, and also it's only got like a 1x, the Cobra Dot. It's hard to hit, I feel, those burst shots, and especially at close range you need to be pretty accurate. I think you need a pretty good 2x 3x scope to see and hit those burst shots. So I'm not a huge fan right now. It's a C tier. I'll say I think I do need to test it a little more, and we'll see, but right now that's where I'm putting it. The Barrel Hunter, still B tier as last season. It's just a short range sniper. Hauer, it's a shotgun. In the right situation, it's okay. C tier, it's a gun. This AK-74U, a lot of you like the AK-74U. It's B tier for me. It's not suppressed. It's got an okay TTK, good mag size, so you could down 1, maybe 2, but you're gonna do it loudly. The Bullfrog. Now the Bullfrog is a great base weapon. It's suppressed, high clip size. Right now I got it S tier. I think it's a really good, especially since it's widely available. It's low S tier. It's not high S tier, but right now that's where I'm putting it. Origin, silenced, meta attachments. Really good option. Just hard with all the SMGs out there, so it's A tier, not S tier. The Type 63. So this is something that I discovered while playing Plunder and playing this gun. This gun hits. It's much like the FAL before it got nerfed. It's got 124 damage to the head, 72 to the body. That's 2 headshots and 1 body shot, and they're dead. This thing deletes. It's not suppressed, and it's very much limited to like close range. But hey, early on against 2-played enemies, this thing's gonna fry. Two shots to the head, they're dead. So this is S tier. I had a C tier at the beginning of the day. It's S tier now. The Sigma, really good. It's like I can use it like an RPG. I don't shoot vehicles much, if ever, but this one kind of functions like an RPG. Can down enemies 1 shot. So it's back end of B, but it definitely will down someone. This Pellington is not bad. I believe it has a combat recon, so that helps with bullet velocity. A lot of people didn't like the Pellington last season. They said they couldn't, it was registering their hits. I think something might have changed since the end of this last season. Out to 100 meters, you can get a headshot. So it's a down 1, like literally the definition. You're gonna down 1 and be able to do that. This Magnum, obviously, I don't even bother. This Kurzboy, I had said in my attachment video, I had high hopes for it because it has a long range barrel. the scope really limits it. And I was playtesting today. I was having trouble hitting shots out like 60, 70 meters with it. So it's really just short range, which is unfortunate. This dead bit, I believe I have it here. It's an RPD. I don't love the scope on it, and it's slowest of the RPDs. It's got the big 150 mag, but it'll down people, especially in that 30 to 50 meter range. This thing will get it done. So it's here. The Krig, I know a lot of you like the Krig. I wonder if it's a console versus PC thing, because the recoil is quite difficult for me to control. I think it's effective in a specific range. I mean, up close, you don't want to be using an axial. TTK is not good. The only range where it's kind of competitive is mid-range. I think it's in the 20s. So that's where it's at for me. The other Diamati, similar. This Feldspar, now I had it C tier beginning of the day, and now after playing around with it, it's B tier. Obviously hipfire is going to be good. MP5 has amazing TTK out to 10 meters. Beyond that, it's got a big dip. This has an axial, but even with the axial, even beyond 10 meters, I was still getting the job done. So I'm putting it here. Kind of want to put it above the 74U because it's got that advantage up close, but I'm going to respect that this is just easier to use because it doesn't have an axial. The FFAR, you know it, it's a monster. You gotta know how to use it. Can't go jumping in, spraying people. You gotta, pop out, get one down, pop in, reload, pop out. That's how you gotta use it. Now this uncommon last season was here, but now it's probably here because it's got the task force, and now we know the task force hurts your recoil. Honestly, when it's like 10 to 15 meters, it probably doesn't make a huge difference, but I'll put it here, but I don't think it's that big a deal. This one, just a smaller mag size, so I'm putting it behind the legendary. The R90. Now, maybe it's been a while since I used the R90. I'm just like trying to tap fire as fast as possible. Much like the FFAR, you got to use this strategically. You got to pop out, get your shots out, pop back in. I kind of don't like that. Since it's a shotgun and you're getting that close, I want something that's going to get the job done really quickly. This does not. And if you have to have that burst delay, you're talking 700 milliseconds to kill up close, and that can get you killed. So I put it here. I know it's silenced. We'll see. Maybe when I use it more, get used to it again, maybe we'll go higher. This FR556, like I've said, has grown on me, but yeah, I can't put it beyond C. This is terrible, straight terrible. It's got a blob, huge horizontal bounce, slow. I think some pistols could kill someone with this. The QBZ, I had a lot of hope for this. It's got an agency suppressor, and now that the agency suppressor is buffed, honestly, the QBZ is just so slow killing that, and once beyond 30 meters, it hits that second damage range, and now you're talking like 1,000 milliseconds to kill. And by that time, someone's probably run behind cover. So this thing is not good. It's like the Milano of the ARs right now. And until further notice, it's in C tier. Frozen Waste. So yeah, it's got that Merc thermal. ADS is really slow. It's here. I think you can hit shots out to like 60, 70 meters, and it's a one shot to the head, so it is silent. So that's why it's ahead of these Tundra. I think the Pellington's actually easier to use than this one, better scope, so that's why that's there. The Glade, the Stoner. Okay, here we go. This Stoner, the Stoner in general, the common, rare ones, monster weapons. Stoner has great TTK at all ranges. Iron sights or 1x scopes make it very manageable to recoil. I'm really big on the Stoner this season. This blue FFAR has better ADS, so that's why it's above those ones. This Hauer, not much different. That don't even bother. Same as the legendary here. All right, the LC10, it's new. The LC10 is very similar to the MP7, I think, in TTK. It's in that range. I don't mind it. It's just hampered by a low mag size. So I got it here. It can't really compete with the MP5 up close, but I think it'll get the job done. This will get the job done. All right, this M16. In my mind, a burst firing M16 should be very good, especially against two-plated enemies. But using a burst weapon with iron sights is, I would say, painful. So I'm gonna put it behind the Diamatis for now. We'll see. Maybe as I use it more, get more comfortable with using the iron sights with the burst weapon. We'll see better. But against 3 plates, you're gonna take 3 bursts, and obviously you won't know that until you start shooting. And then by then you might be engaging in a battle you can't win anymore. So that's where it is. Terrible. I had thought maybe it's like a foul. No, it's got 10 rounds. It's hard to hit. It's slow firing. It's not good in any sense. This Milano we know is slow TTK. This Bullfrog, obviously slightly better than the other Bullfrog. This Chopper just behind the Legendary. This Pellington is, yeah, I think out to 60, 70 meters, it'll get the job done. I know it has very low bullet velocity, so that's why you can't hit beyond that, but within that range, it'll be fine. You don't even bother. This thing is terrible. This LC10, you know, slightly better or equal, really, probably just equal. All right, this PKM is nice. Now, yes, it has a thermal, and a lot of you on Reddit were really complaining about how the devs love to put thermals, and yes, it does and can ruin some guns, but look, you just gotta embrace what you're given and try to make it work. And this thermal is actually a solid thermal. I like the difference in color. It's the Solo Zero, and early on, no one has cold-blooded, can really help in target acquisition. The Solo Zero is a 2x, which really helps increase the range, and this PKM is kitted for range. It's got the snatch grip, it's got the long barrel, so honestly this almost broke into S tier, but for now I'm putting it A tier. It's really good. This R90, same thing, just fewer bullets, still suppressed. This Jack, I love the Jack. So for some of you this may be lower. You are slow, but I think it's great if you're in a squad and you're squad support. This thing can literally squad wipe because it's got 32 rounds, so that's where it is. Okay, the RAL. At the beginning of the day, I was here because I saw the true game data video. TTK is great, but in practice, this thing has recoil, very, very strong vertical, and I think out beyond 80, it gets dicey in terms of trying to keep it on target. So I think, yeah, in the 20 to 60 range, this thing hits like a rock, and it's really good. Obviously, you're slow, your movement speed, everything, so that's where it also gets penalized, but I'm putting it here because it's really good in a specific range, but it's not the laser beamer that I'd hope it would be. This RPD suppressed, same RPD as last season, so it's really good. In a same range as the RAL. RAL's gonna do it faster, but this is really good. RPG just behind the Sigma, solid, right situation, gets the job done. This RPD, more bullets, and I think it has a foregrip and suppressed as well, so just above the uncommon. This M16 is, where's the M16? There. It's basically just, yeah, it does have the Hawksmoor. A burst fire weapon I really think needs 2x, 3x magnification. All right, this Type 63. Now, it does have the axial, but the reality is we know the Type 63 is not good for ranged shooting. That's why the DMR was more popular, because the recoil on the Type 63 is pretty strong out there. So this is, it still can down somebody in specific ranges situation. It's better up close. It's really bad because it's got the axial. So it's like in that same range as the Krieg can get the job done. It's a little dicey at times though. It's a little inconsistent, so that's why it's there. Okay, this AUG, I did not really get to test as much as I'd like. This AUG, if you look at the video attachments, the recoil seems to have very minimal recoil, especially versus the other one. So that's why it's here. It does have an axial, so honestly this could move up if it's as nasty as the AUGs, the other AUGs that everyone's running around are right now. So it's got all the makings, and we're gonna see. It definitely could move itself up by mid-season. This is the best. This is the best ground loot of Season 2 Cold War. The Serac, however you want to call it. This is basically a suppressed MAC-10. I think once the CX-9 comes out as a weapon, a lot of people are going to be running it because this thing is nasty. I'm going to get a video out. I got highlights from Plunder. This thing deletes. This is number 1, and I would say it's not even close. This is number 1. The Shalalag is trash. So trash, the Renetti is better than it. I would rather have a Renetti. than these M60s and this ASVAL. This MP5. Honestly, the MP5 has a pretty strong vertical kick, but I have to respect its TTK. I have to respect that it is suppressed. And so it is S tier. I don't really love the recoil handling. Honestly, at the mid-season, this might be above that. For now, I'm gonna put it here. But this was nasty. It's definitely really good. But Krieg, another gun I don't like recoil as, it's down there. This PKM is not kitted for range, so it is a kind of specific range capable gun. It also has a thermal canted, so yeah, it's here. This is X16 or this, just not enough rounds. This is the B, not suppressed. It's only got 9 rounds. I think it shoots so fast. You burn through a clip real fast. You don't even have enough for a second person. This QBZ has 60 rounds, so you're like, oh, it should be better. No, this thing is so slow. It's too slow. This souvenir is still amazing. And this XM4 has that bullet velocity buff that it got mid-season last season. So it's still really good. Still S tier. This stoner, so good. I mean, this is probably, other than the bullfrog, and like I said in the video, stoner plus a bullfrog or FFAR, that's your starter kit. That's what you should start with every round until you find better guns. And there aren't gonna be that many better guns. This Milano, some of you really like it. I think it has double the bullet velocity. I think that's why you guys feel it's like more hit skinny, snappier. But yeah, it can't get beyond C tier here. This teal drop, I honestly think I'm taking this over the M60. It's got at least more bullets than the other 1911, and yeah, those M60s are trouble. All right, this Uzi is gonna be love-hate depending on who you are. It has the Merc thermal, so if you hate thermals, it's also a 2x thermal, so it is gimped up close, but it does have the Carbine Pro, which is a long-range barrel, so it is capable out to 20-30 meters. So I think it's can get the job done. Maybe not, definitely not as good as maybe the LC10, but I think you can work with it. I think you can work with it. Just less bullets. Tonkatsu. The Haunt, because it has the 41AE, the Carbine Pro, the P90 outside of that initial range drop, the TTK drops off quite fast. So it's got to be good close, and it's got that weird 2x thermal, so that's why it's there. You probably make it work in certain situations, but... All right, this one has a thermal canted, so you can switch it off. You can switch the thermal off, so that's why I'm putting it there. It's silenced, so is this one. These aren't, so it's kind of as you want. All right, the Farah. Oh man, this jumped to S tier from A to S because this thing is basically an FFAR with more bullets. I know it has the recoil, I even stated in the video, but it is controllable. I feel out to 25, 30 meters you're pushing it, but before then this thing deletes. I was like double killing people with loadout weapons. This thing is nasty. And okay, so this, it's not the next one, but this one is nasty as well. The Wave Lord, my goodness. This, how much does the scope help? It's got the Silex Hollow Scout, gives you 1.25. It just helps you so much versus the Iron Sight. It does increase your range out to like 70, 80, and this thing is a beam and it's suppressed. It's like an upgraded souvenir basically in my mind. This thing is nasty. This XM4 just doesn't have enough bullets. Otherwise it'd be a lot higher, but you really just are downing one, and yes, you need backup. All right, so some of you on Reddit said that Old Growth is in it. I have not seen it still. I'm gonna take everyone's word for it, but it's here. If it's there, hopefully it's there, because the Old Growth is an amazing gun. So that's where I put it. Actually, this Silent Motive, the souvenir is higher than these guys. Okay, so yeah, the souvenir is really good. This has recoil that I wish were better, and this is also really good. You know, difference, the margin's very small. This fire is just a skeletal stock difference from this one, so it is destroying still. Yes, they're not silenced. That's okay, because they're just a beefier FFAR. More mag. All right, Joker. I don't think I even know how to use the Joker properly. It's there. So all right, well, that's it, guys. That's the tier list. Again, it's early. I played everything in plunder for the most part, so things are gonna change. Definitely comment in Reddit. Definitely share your early impressions, but just know things can change. Let's get out there. Let's use these guns and see how they do. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will definitely be getting out those highlight videos out to you guys, and so I'll see you guys on the next one.